What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pinfalls and Playbooks podcast, episode number 9. As always, I'm your host, Faiz Kabir, alongside my co-host, Arden Khan. And today, we're going to be starting off with our week in wrestling review. I just came back from a quick trip in Mexico. That's why last episode was a little bit of a delayed update. But we're going to, as soon as football season is now starting, we're going to get in the groove of things, and we're going to start chime out these episodes as soon as we can. But for this week, we're going to start with wrestling. Like we said, we're coming off the precipice of Clash in Paris.
Yep.
So, Farden, what did you think of that show real quick?
I would give it a solid 6.5, 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
The crowd made it a little bit better. Obviously, European crowds are known to have like the more spontaneous chants and the most like...
Honestly, French crowd might be the better festival out of all of them.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they have the most like emphatic energy compared to like, let's just say like London.
Yeah.
Where else did they go? Barcelona.
They have the most creative chants.
Yeah. That
sure.
AJ Styles chant from last year was really, really like... And he was a heel too.
Exactly.
So, I think the French crowd is the best crowd thus far.
I think so too. For the match-wise, I think it was all pretty much average show.
Yeah.
I think the best match of the show was John Cena and Logan Paul.
That Rusev and Sheamus one was pretty underrated. That old-fashioned Donnybrook match.
Yeah, I think that was the second best match of the night.
Yeah.
But for me, John Cena and Logan Paul, they exceeded everyone's expectations. John Cena went on to almost have a 26-minute match.
Yeah.
So he came off of SummerSlam doing a 37-minute match, and then into a 26-minute match. People thought like John Cena was washed. He can't do any of this anymore.
He wants to go out with a bang at that point.
It's crazy. He's literally dying. It looks like he's about to die after every match.
Yeah.
But he's going out there. He's doing as best he can. And obviously, Logan Paul, he's
pretty good. Yeah.
Continues to show why he's going to be one of the best.
If he became more, I'm not saying he's going to, but if he decided to become more of a full-time wrestler,
he'd be a world champ.
He would be a world champ.
He would literally be a world champ eventually.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he has been more consistent. Like, he's been on almost every other show.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that. And then the main event was a 4-way. It was pretty much a whatever 4-way. It's something honestly.
It's what you expect that 4-way match to be.
It's something that honestly could have been like a main event of a Raw, to be honest. But the big swerve was obviously in the beginning of the show we had Braun Breaker take out Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Bronson Reed also.
That's basically WWE's way of saying, "Here, Roman, go have your time off right now."
Exactly. Go film Street Fighter.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what that happened. But that led to Adam Pearce banning both of them from ringside. So ultimately, people assume like, all right, who's Seth's going to introduce as their next member? A lot of people weren't talking about it really, but it was kind of obvious because they were talking about Becky Lynch a lot. But their next member happens to be Becky Lynch, which is his wife. And now they're going to be introducing that. But we're going to be talking about that in the Monday Night Raw review where they're pretty much hinting at something else, someone else returning. I agree with Farden. I think it was a 7 out of 10 show. I think match quality-wise it was 6, but the crowd for me elevated to a 7. And then we start off with Monday Night Raw, which was also in the same building back in France, in Paris. The show started with CM Punk, who was standing in the parking lot garage.
He was just standing there like this, waiting for Seth Rollins.
He was just like, I'm not leaving this spot until Seth Rollins comes. And in my mind, I'm like, is there no other exits in this building or entrances? Like,
he's just standing in one place for what? Like almost 2 hours, this guy.
Seth Rollins can literally come in from the back and no one's going to say anything. But that's pretty much what started off the show. Then we had Jey Uso come out. Whole crowd went crazy again because Jey Uso, one of the best entrances in WWE. But I know you and me were talking about it, that you're getting tired of listening to Jey Uso just huff and puff.
Yeah, it's like, I kind of have that issue on a personal side, but I'm not fucking Jey Uso. You know what I'm saying? But when you're out into the ring in front of the crowd and you're just saying things and then pausing yourself and taking a deep breath and saying like, it proves that you're not confident, which is fine. Some people, obviously, when you're put in that position, you're not going to know what to say. There's so much people. There's cameras everywhere. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of him, I guess, not being able to digest the situation.
But the thing is, I feel like he should be over that by now, especially with all the push and all this stardom he's been getting in the last 2 years. But
I think that's what's causing him to like not excel at that aspect of WWE.
You think he's holding himself back some way? Maybe?
I think so, because when you obviously, the Usos are known to be more on the ghetto side versus other wrestlers. So like you can't say certain things that you probably would want to say. Yeah. Obviously, think about it like this. Jacob Fatu has the same mentality and he's really good on the mic.
Yeah, because it's obvious that he's just being himself.
Yeah. And I think that Jey Uso is trying hard not to be himself and
Right.
trying to like mimic something that he shouldn't be. And
Agree, yeah.
like, for example, if he went that route like of Jacob Fatu, and like, I'm not saying put that gangster type of persona on,
No, I
but
got you.
be yourself. Like, there's obviously things that you can say that you don't have to, I guess, hold back from the crowd,
Yeah.
hold back from the television
Yeah.
audience. But at the end of the day, like, you need to showcase that you got this. This is why you need to be the top. I think this is why he didn't have a title reign for that long.
No.
Obviously, fans notice it. You know,
Yeah.
WWE's obviously gonna notice
Like
it.
there's a certain cap on him, and we don't know what he can unlock anymore, if there
Right.
even is any more two left to unlock. But overall, that pretty much his promo led to LA Knight coming out.
Someone who deserves to be world title, but
Right,
that's a
but
conversation for another day.
and that's just it's just honestly like his window is very very close. It's very
thin.
close to closing.
It's thin. Yeah, it's very thin.
It's not if it's not happening anytime soon, then it's never gonna happen.
He's probably just still going to be like that mid card.
Right. It led to them two being in a match with the Bronze later on in the show. Next, we had the Kabuki Warriors. They're continuing that storyline. They faced Judgment Day. It was a good match. I know during the end of the match, it started getting a little wonky because Asuka and Roxanne, they were just not on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it just looked a little weird. But Kabuki Warriors picked up the win, which they very much needed as they're going into this feud with Io Sky. Next, we have Finn Balor versus Dragon Lee, where Finn Balor was extremely over in this crowd. And we see that a lot, actually, when Finn has been in Europe.
The EU crowd.
It's because like he made a name for himself in the EU before even coming to WWE, in Japan, in the European wrestling scene. So people have this fun for Finn Balor no matter where he goes in Europe. It's always great to see Finn Balor getting that recognition because we know how good he is.
Yeah, he definitely deserves it.
He's just stuck in that tag team mid-card role right now, and I don't know when he can ever get back to that level of being a main eventer. Honestly, he hasn't been like that since he won the title when he was the Demon in SummerSlam and then got injured right away.
No.
So after that, that killed his entire momentum. But Balor won because due to shenanigans with JD on the outside. It's basically simple things that Judgment Day continues to do. Next, we had the New Day and Grayson Waller versus Penta and the War Raiders. Another solid match. All three guys, all six men, they're really good workers.
Yeah. What are they building to in terms of this? Like,
the New Day?
I know there was a promo towards the end of the show, something about them like reading the Bible. I don't know.
Yeah, they're basically like saying like this is the death of the tag team division. Like basically like the tag team division on Monday Night Raw is pretty bad. Like there isn't that many tag teams.
There really isn't.
There isn't, and
I think the tag team division in general in WWE is just not as fun as it used to be.
No.
You know what I mean? The SmackDown one definitely has its like moments. Let's just say that.
But you know what's crazy to think about it? Like a few years ago, the SmackDown tag team titles, the tag team titles main evented at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, but that's because
they were unified tag team.
I know, but also it's because of the names that they were involved in the tag team division.
Yeah.
If WWE wants to consider having like important names in that tag team division, where they
need to have important people,
they gotta have important people to put in that level. And who knows? Like I don't know what they can do. In my opinion,
that start of the Penta Rey Fenix,
right? And that too, or also like you build up the Bronze and let them take those tag team titles and bring it to the division and have that whole group have titles.
That's true. I
could definitely see that. So I could definitely see that going. But this Grayson Waller storyline just falling around Xavier Woods and new Kofi Kingston, I think eventually it's got to lead to Austin Theory somehow coming back and being a babyface and taking this whole team on. So I think that is what they're building to. And who knows? It might be good for Austin Theory because we never really seen him as a face.
No, nobody really liked him until recently. But I wouldn't say nobody really liked him, but you could see that change.
Right, but the thing is, like people in the crowd, especially in the fans, they like to see when people are getting like beat up on. They want him to like overrise and overcome the bullying.
That's like their way of pushing him forward.
Exactly, and I think Austin Theory could probably excel in that, even though he just looks like
I agree,
he just looks like a heel. But you never
he has that early John Cena type of capabilities.
And the thing is, like for Austin Theory, that's a whole different story. His career went down the hole after he beat John Cena at WrestleMania. He got worse after that, which made no sense. But that's a whole different story. But next we had our first match announced for WrestlePalooza, which is their big show coming up on ESPN on September 20th. It's Pierce announced. It was Io Sky versus Stephanie McCare. In my opinion, like quick thoughts on that match. I think Io Sky's going to win that title. I don't think Stephanie's going to win it yet. because I think that she's still destined to do that mid card run to the title run. I think it's a little too early for her to just win the title right away. Because in my opinion, it's all going to build to that show in Perth where Rhea Ripley's going to get that title back.
You think so?
Yeah, and the story still is Rhea Ripley still hasn't beat Io Sky.
Yeah.
I think Io Sky wins this title.
That's
back
in what?
October.
At the end of October.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think the end game for that story is Rhea's got to beat Io,
Mhm.
and she's going to do it in Perth. So I think Io Sky wins the title.
You think Rhea holds on to the title until WrestleMania
or something, or then they could do like whoever is coming up at that time, or someone that's very strong at that time. I think Rhea definitely goes into WrestleMania as champion this time. But overall, yeah, I think Io's going to win that title, and I think Stephanie is going to maybe go into the Intercontinental title, which would be a great feud against Becky Lynch.
I agree, yeah.
So I think those two are kind of set in that sense. But then we had probably the best thing of the show was Becky Lynch and CM Punk promo. You can give your quick thoughts on what you think of this promo.
So obviously CM Punk, he was trying to get to Seth Rollins. He wanted him to come out so he could beat his ass, talk shit to him how he normally would.
Yeah.
And then he asked for the man to come out.
Right.
It wasn't the man that he was seeking. It was Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch came out. She was basically spitting up a lot of hoopla, saying how even during my matches, I got to hear your name, meaning CM Punk's name.
Yeah.
And I can't focus on myself. You're affecting my family, my husband, me, this and that. CM Punk was like, listen, I don't really care about you. I just need Seth Rollins out here. I don't know what you're doing out here.
Meanwhile, during the promo, we hear someone else's name just being chanted.
Which we'll get to in a second. Yeah. But ultimately, Seth Rollins does come out. He tells CM Punk, like, yo, I'm here. What you going to do about it? Eventually, he walks away. CM Punk wants to, I guess, go after him, but Becky Lynch is not doing that. Eventually, it comes to a point where Becky Lynch decides to, like, slap
him a few times.
Slapped him a few times, and then obviously CM Punk, you can't really hit a woman in WWE standards. Yeah. He eventually takes the mic and he says, I'm going to make your husband regret ever cashing his title on me, and I'm going to make you regret putting your hands on me. Right. Which obviously leads to the crowd before and now chanting for AJ Lee to come back.
Right. And then that leads into the backstage segment.
Which he talks to Adam Pearce. He asks Adam Pearce where a SmackDown is this Friday, which is in Chicago. Hint, hint. Chicago, CM Punk's hometown.
That's where him and AJ live.
It's him and where AJ sold. And he says tremendous. And I saw some shit online about...
And this is where...
AJ Mendez or some shit like that.
No. So this is where WWE even spoiled it themselves. So WWE Shop has their own Twitter page where they responded to a fan. Some fan put out like, oh, when is the AJ Lee merch coming out? The WWE Shop literally exploded themselves and said, AJ Lee merchandise is being made, coming out soon.
Wow.
Well, so I'm like, okay, you guys just spoiled it.
I mean, we kind of...
Everybody knew
that it was going to be her eventually.
So, like, it's
just a matter of when.
It's most likely...
I honestly don't think that she will be there at the show until next Monday.
Why wouldn't she be there in Chicago? Like, that's the perfect time to bring her in because she'll be so over there.
That's true.
Where are you going to do it next Monday? Like, the crowd might be even dead wherever the show is next Monday.
That's true.
You got to do it in Chicago because you're going to get that Punk crowd. You're going to get the AJ Lee crowd. You're going to hear that music that nobody has heard in 10 years. Light it up. So, like, that's going to be...
That little skip walking.
Exactly. Like, I'm very curious if she's going to still play that same persona or she's going to be, like, more like,
more like CM Punk.
More like a CM Punk.
Yeah.
But that's going to be very interesting to see. So it's most likely going to be another match at WrestlePalooza where it's going to be a mixed tag team match.
Which should be a good match.
Which is going to be a good match. Like, it's going to be a big attraction because it's AJ Lee's first match in 10 years.
Yeah.
So that's going to be pretty exciting. Next, we went into Dom versus AJ, which was, first of all, before the match even started, the crowd was already going crazy.
Ill phenomenal chant that the French got. Yo, let me tell you something. I don't like the French people. That's my controversial take for this week. Even though we're not doing no sideline heel take, I hate the French. But they're very lit when it comes to WWE events.
In sporting events in general.
Sport, yeah, that's true. I think most European crowds are pretty good anyways. But this chant, they actually got it from a song. I don't know if you know it.
Yeah. But, I don't know where it came from.
So it actually came from a French song from like the 80s, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
It's basically whatever they're saying, it's part of the lyrics to the song. And obviously we know AJ Styles as the phenomenal one.
Yeah.
And it says il phenomenal, whatever they say. So that's basically where it came from to those that didn't know.
Yeah.
But that show, bro, I remember I was watching Raw. He came out, they kept singing it. It went to break, they kept singing it. It came back from break, they kept singing it. It was a solid for like 7 minutes straight.
They were going crazy for AJ Styles. But Dom started off the match with a very heelish move, smart move. Before they even started finishing the announcement, Dom just went attacked him. Great. Yeah. It was a great heelish move. Dom knows what he's doing in these roles. But the crowd, honestly, the crowd carried this match because most of this match, Dom was dominating the match. He was beating up AJ the entire match. And AJ was doing what he does best. He makes the other wrestlers look good. That's what he does. And then overall, I think you and me both thought that this is the time where AJ is going to win the title in France.
Yeah, I texted him before the match saying like, "Yo, he has to win." And it just makes 2 cents for him.
Exactly. When the match ended, it ended due to El Grande interference because Judgment Day wasn't allowed ringside. But over the weeks, we saw Dom talking to El Grande, and it looks like that's what they were talking about, is making sure that Dom keeps the title. What it looks like is, so Dom obviously ended up winning, but it looks like AJ is now going to be reverting to El Grande. I don't know if that's something that's worth him doing right now. I don't know. But Dom continues to keep the title. And
I think they should give an opportunity to Rusev.
See, that's the thing. You're gonna have 2 heels versus each other for the title.
Yeah, but you could technically you could make Rusev the face.
You can, because he could get the easiest way to do it is be like Sheamus comes up to him and be like, "Oh, great match, fella. Yeah, I respect you." And then that's it. And then that overall, like, there you go. Rusev is like, he can be like a tweener. Yeah. But that's the way to go probably, because I don't see what else. Rusev needs to be hot. Like, he just made Sheamus tap out. So, like, nobody has done that ever. Like, one other person.
Yeah, it makes sense. And it was Rusev again.
Right. So, like, someone needs to, like WWE needs to keep Rusev on a roll.
They need to be creative with creative, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's it's going to be. Hopefully, it's Dom and Rusev, and then we have AJ with El Grande. But at the end of the day, people are still clamoring for that John Cena AJ Styles match. You kind of finished that storyline with AJ and Dom now. Now it's kind of AJ's chance to probably somehow get a match in there with all these few dates that Cena has left. Like, I think he only has like 8 left. Yeah. Which is kind of insane. He's going to be on SmackDown, which is this Friday, which is going to be 7.
Going to be Brock Lesnar.
And WrestlePalooza, that's 6 already. After WrestlePalooza, you got Survivor Series, you got Australia. That's it. That's your main 2 pay-per-views left.
And then just all the Raw and SmackDown.
And then, you have Survivor Series, you have that Perth, and then you have his last show, which is going to be on Saturday Night's Main Event. Those are the 3 pay-per-views that are left. And then he has maybe 2 or 3 left in between. So somehow, some way, you got to get AJ Styles in there. I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe at Survivor Series, they could possibly do it. Or maybe in Australia.
Could be in Australia.
But it's getting, the list for Cena is getting very, very thin of who's going to be left for him.
Yeah.
It's an attraction. It's got to be an attraction, whoever he faces.
I agree.
All right. And then I think next the
main event between the Braun connection, Jey Uso and LA Knight. It was obviously a regular main event a weekly episodic main event tag team match. A lot of back and forth between the two. A lot of people flying over the announce tables. Yeah. It was what you expect that match to be.
At the end of the day, the Browns picked up a win, which they needed because Bronson Reed just came off of a loss. But they picked up the match and then they continued their attack on them. But we had a kind of a surprise. I didn't expect it. You had Jimmy Uso come out. Yeah. Which was good to see because now it looks like they're gonna be doing the Usos reunion, which we haven't seen in a while. It's always good to see it, and it's good for Jimmy because honestly, Jimmy's doing nothing.
He needs a push.
Jimmy's doing nothing without Jay. Yeah. So, and that's honestly, it's been more apparent in the last 2-3 years because Jay's been just on that level, in the main event level, and Jimmy hasn't been.
No. It's a good opportunity for him to basically recalibrate, work with his brother.
Get together again. And basically, I think this is also going to be leading up to WrestlePalooza. It's going to be a tag team match. The Usos versus the Browns. Easy match to make. Yeah. But that's pretty much the end of Monday Night's Raw recap. We're building towards WrestlePalooza, which is in the middle of September. I think we have 2 or maybe 3 weeks left of shows. But it's going to be a stack show.
Yeah, there's going to be much more matches to be announced. We don't know nothing about Cody Rhodes. Maybe Drew McIntyre.
That could be a show.
John Cena's. It's probably going to be John Cena and Brock Lesnar.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
And then we still have like a few other matches that can definitely happen.
Yeah,
we'll see
we
what
have
they
the
set up.
U.S. title match. Sami Zayn won the U.S.
Sami
title
Zayn is now.
this past weekend.
Yeah.
That should be interesting. Obviously, we don't know what's next for Dom. We don't know what's next for the tag team titles on Raw, which is
the Judgment Day.
The Judgment Day. They need an opponent possibly.
And the Wyatt Six.
The Wyatt Six just beat the Street Profits on SmackDown.
Clash in Paris.
Oh, Clash in Paris. Yeah. Sorry. There's a lot
of matches that can still be filled in that card because I think that card is not. I don't think it's gonna fit the regular like 5 to 6 matches that Triple H do on pay-per-views. I think that show could definitely be 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Because of how big the show they're making
it. And it's on ESPN too.
The first show on ESPN.
It kind of makes sense for them to be like, yes, we're gonna do this like a major type of pay-per-view.
Exactly.
Which ultimately, why not at this point?
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
It generates money for the company and it generates excitement for the fans.
Yeah.
You know, we obviously only have 3 technical major pay-per-views per year. Well, 4 if you want to include Survivor Series, which is still a major pay-per-view. Yeah. But this is just like the appetizer to the Survivor Series eventually and
it's going to be great. I already know like WrestlePalooza, and they're purposely doing it because they're also going up against AEW's pay-per-view, which is later that night.
Yeah.
No, so it's actually I just found out that AEW decided to move their showtime up to 3 p.m.
So this is going to be on Saturday?
This is all happening Saturday. So it's going to be crazy wrestling Saturday.
We're going to be feasting on wrestling on Saturday.
It's 3 p.m. AEW, which is basically their show's 3 hours, or 3 or 4 hours, which is going to end around 7.
And
then leads right into WrestlePalooza at 8 o'clock. So that September 20th is going to be wrestling.
Grab your energy drinks, your popcorn, your food, Uber Eats, whatever you got to do for that shit.
It's going to be a crazy night in wrestling again. But that's pretty much our wrestling recap for this week. And as always, we're going to continue with our recaps next week. All right, guys. Now we're getting into our week in sports review. So first, as always, we're going to start off with our MLB review. Safari, I'll let you start off with this.
Yeah, we're on the road to the playoffs. There's a lot of things, a lot of interesting divisional wild card races going on.
There's a lot of races.
Yeah, most of it is in the East Coast. So I'll give you first, for example, the AL East right now. We have the Blue Jays, the Yankees, and the Red Sox. Blue Jays are leading the division. They have, like, I believe, a 2.5 to 3.5 game lead over the Yankees and Red Sox. Yankees and Red Sox, they're fighting for the first they're fighting for the first wild card spot. The Yankees technically have a lead because of their win percentage.
Yeah.
Although they played less games, the Red Sox are still behind them by half a game.
Okay.
So that's basically going to be a toss-up. And the interesting thing is next week, they're going to be in Boston. So that's basically going to decide who comes out on top.
And this makes it even more evident that the Yankees needed to win that series 2 weeks ago.
But listen, man, the past is in the past. Focus on the future. The thing is, if it comes down to a tiebreaker situation, we're not going to get that first spot.
Yeah.
So this is must win because 1, it helps you improve the record, and 2, it gives you home field advantage in the wild card.
Yeah.
Granted, the Yankees are also playing the Blue Jays this weekend here in the Bronx.
Yep.
That's also a big series because it's also a fight for the division.
Yeah.
So they're playing the Astros this week. They won yesterday 7-1. They're playing tonight. And they have the Blue Jays. Then they have the Tigers. And then they have the Red Sox. Those are all 4 teams that are making the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they need to step up. The offense needs to step up. The pitching needs to step up.
This is a very
consistent time for the team to showcase that they belong, that they can at least make the World Series. And, you know,
it's weird. In my opinion, right now, I feel like the Yankees October is like right now.
It has to be right now.
It's right now.
If you don't get hot right now, when his push comes to shove, you're not going to be able to shove back.
Let this Astros series finish out. When you go into the Blue Jays, it's you gotta.
You have to perform.
You go into the Blue Jays, then you go into the Tigers, and you go into the Red Sox.
You need to perform definitely against the Blue Jays and obviously against the Red Sox.
Yeah.
If the bats don't show, the problem with the Yankees is if their bats don't show up, they don't win.
They're not gonna win.
The pitching will keep them in the game.
Yeah.
However, obviously, you can't have Max Fried pitching all 9 innings. You can't have Carlos Rodon pitch all 9 innings. Cam Schiller, although he's been really, really good for the team.
Yeah, he's been good, man.
He can't pitch 9 innings. So the bats need to show up. If they can muster up at least 4 to 5 runs a game against both teams with good pitching, I think they can win at least 2 out of 3 against each series.
Yeah, for sure.
So
and then let's talk about the Padres real quick.
So like I said, on the West Coast,
it's very evident, yeah.
the Dodgers are still leading the West.
Yeah.
The Padres are second, and they're behind, I believe, 2 games or such. They still have a chance to win the division.
Yeah.
Obviously, they just need to win the games. The Dodgers have. Dodgers, interestingly to say enough, is they've been struggling the last last week or so. They've lost I want to say 10 out of their last 18 games or something.
Yesterday, Shohei hit a bomb.
He didn't hit a bomb. He hit a bullet.
Yeah.
And it was 120 miles per hour.
First of all, how do you generate that much energy?
Look at Giancarlo Stanton, though.
Yeah, but look at Shohei's build versus Giancarlo Stanton's build.
But they're both the same height.
Same height, I get it, but come on, think of thickness. That's true.
All you gotta do is just swing the bat and hope for the best of that.
But then again, I always heard this. I've seen other people say it too. When they see Shohei, he looks massive.
That's true.
People always say Shohei is a massive person. He looks like Judge's size.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. You never see a Japanese person
that
big. So I just want to go see Shohei play one day too.
I've seen him play in person.
Yeah.
It's fucking huge, bro.
He's massive, right? Yeah. So, but I think in that division, it's a 1 and 2 race. It's the Padres and Dodgers for right now. I don't really see anyone else making a really big gap in that. I think it's between those two, honestly.
Yeah, and then on the NL wildcard side, we got the Cubs, who are probably going to lock down the 1 because they have a really good record. The only reason why they're not leading their division is because the Milwaukee Brewers have been the best team in baseball for the last 2 months or so. They had the best record in baseball. And then you have the Mets, but you also have, I believe, the Cardinals.
Okay.
Is it the Cardinals? I might be missing a team. Oh, the Padres.
The Padres.
Yeah, so it's the Cubs, Padres, and Mets.
Yeah.
The Mets were trying to buy for the NL East, but I think the Phillies are too good, and they're going to end up winning the division anyways. So you'll have the Cubs going to face the Phillies in the wild card. No, not the Phillies. NL Central, Brewers, NL West. They'll play the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And then Mets and Padres again. That would be an interesting series. And then on the AL side, it would be
the Brewers and
the Brewers and the Phillies would have bye. Yeah. On AL side, the Tigers would have a bye. At this point, the Blue Jays would have a bye. Yeah. So it would be the Yankees and Red Sox. Yeah. No, yeah. The Yankees and Red Sox, and then the who's third in the AL right now? Is it the Mariners and Astros?
Astros, okay. There's a lot of games coming up. Let's see how
it's a good time of the year. Next in October, NHL starts again. NBA starts again.
So we're
gearing up.
Gearing up for sports.
Fall.
Man. It's very exciting.
Everybody loves the fall. It's hoodie season too.
And it's not even that. It's just also in the wrestling side, we have a lot of big shows.
Oh, big shows. Yep.
After September, we're looking at a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so definitely going to be a lot more things to talk about.
But now we're going to start off going into the NFL, which is actually starting tomorrow for us, which is very exciting. But let's quickly talk about some NFL news.
Which was one of the biggest news. Michael Parsons got traded to the Packers for basically a pack of gummy bears.
And you and me have been talking about this the last 2 weeks, where we think Micah can go. I'm not sure if we mentioned the Packers.
No, I feel like
I think maybe we did.
I feel like I did mention
I feel like maybe we did talk about the Packers. But they were definitely on the mind, but we just never thought it was going to happen. At the end of the day, I never thought Michael was going to go anywhere.
I mean, I did say that the Packers are going to make the NFC Championship game last episode.
And this adds to your point. Yeah. But Mikey going to the Packers, it was just evident at this point that Jerry Jones didn't want to pay him, and he was just tired of him. Which is, let's see, Jerry, why you thought you didn't think you should have paid him. Honestly, I'd rather pay him than Dak Prescott.
Yeah, they paid Dak Prescott $60 million for what? For what? Somebody explain this to me. How you pay Dak Prescott, who has never passed the second round, $60 million, and he's been hurt, I think, two out of the last 6-7 years.
In my opinion, I think this is going to be Dak's last hurrah.
This is his make or break season.
It's got to be.
It's got to be.
We can also talk about Tom Brady. He just got signed off, and now he's allowed to be a minority owner of the Raiders. I don't know if it's going to do anything. It's just Brady just trying to make some more money, in my opinion, and continue to stay relevant.
Yeah.
But he is, because I think he's still one of the best voices in football. And he's going to be that for another 10, 15 years, honestly, if he really wants to.
Yep.
And then me and Fard have been talking about this all week, where a lot of older receivers have been going back to their old teams.
Yeah.
So first we saw Adam Thielen do it.
He got traded from the Panthers back to the Vikings, which is kind of interesting because Jordan Addison's going to be out for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like a reprimand for the Vikings to be like, yeah, okay, we're going to have Adam Thielen for 6 weeks. He's already been here. He knows the system. And we're just going to wait for Jordan Addison to come back. We're going to build up J.J. McCarthy. And honestly, I think it was a good move for the Vikings.
I think it was a good move. Then we had Brandon Cooks back to the Saints.
Yeah, we don't talk about the Saints.
It's like it doesn't make any reason to talk about the Saints.
Yeah.
We had Gabe Davis going back to Buffalo.
This was yesterday. Yeah.
Very interesting
because Josh Allen definitely needs weapons.
He needs weapons.
Don't really has nobody.
But also, Gabe Davis was really good for them.
Yeah.
Where he liked to throw Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
So there is a little connection there. Then we had Amari Cooper making his return to the Raiders.
Yeah.
It might be a good weapon for Geno.
Yeah.
Geno might make him look good again.
It definitely needs some help for Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers. So it definitely gives some opening for Ashton Genty to showcase his talent.
In my opinion, I still think Amari Cooper is one of the best route runners in the league.
I think the Raiders are going to be very underrated this season.
It could be.
Especially with Pete Carroll there now.
Yeah. And then we had lastly Keenan Allen
going back to the Chargers. We also had Mike Williams going back to the Chargers as well.
Mike Williams is not. I don't care about Mike Williams anymore. Keenan Allen, he just loves that. He just loves that Chargers team. And I guess hopefully...
He probably just loves La La Land, to be honest.
And let's see what happens with that. And then last, you can talk about what happened to your guys.
Yeah, so today we found out, us Jet fans, that our right guard, Elijah Vera Tucker,
again,
be out for the season with
a
torn triceps. I didn't actually see the full report to it. I just was devastated by the news. I'm sure it happened in practice. But what's crazy is he had a torn triceps injury in his rookie year when he was showing out. I don't believe it's the same arm because I remember it was his left arm. I believe this one was on his right arm, and it sucks because
he's probably your best O-line.
Yeah,
if he's healthy, I think so.
Yeah, Joe Tippmann's really good too. So there's going to be a lot of questions on the offensive line, like do they move Joe Tippmann back to right guard and then put the new center at the center?
Yeah.
Do they do the opposite? There's a lot of questions for the Jet offensive line. But let's be real here. Ever since DeBrickashaw Ferguson, Nick Mangold,
not the old crew,
Damian Woody, all of these guys retired. The Jets' O-line has been in shambles for the last, I want to say, 10 years plus.
Oh, man.
Since
2011, 2012.
Well, that 2015 when Ryan Fitzpatrick decided to throw the double coverage at the end zone instead of throwing it to Brandon Marshall. We don't talk about that. Besides that, ever since then, the O-line's been extremely trash.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of questions this year, especially with Justin Fields' development. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. You just got to make with whatever you got.
Yeah.
Next man up mentality.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Pray for the best at that point.
All right. And now we're going to quickly go. So every week we're going to be talking about our 5 best games that we're going to look forward to. 2 games that we're always going to talk about is our favorite 2 teams, that whoever they're playing.
Yeah.
But then we have 3 outliers where we think those are going to be probably the best or most watched games for sure. So first we obviously have the opening night, which is Dallas versus Philadelphia. It's going to be Philadelphia's ring ceremony. I think this game is going to be easy pickings in my opinion. I think Philadelphia's going to run through them, and I think they're going to run the ball with Saquon.
Go ahead.
So I think they're going to run the ball through Saquon. I think Saquon he's been clamoring to get back on the field. He's one of those people where he's just like I want to play.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna. Also, what I think also is going to happen is Jalen Hurts has been hearing a lot of shit talk over the offseason. I think he's going to come out slinging that ball today.
I hope so. I have A.J. Brown for an anytime touchdown tomorrow. So.
But I think Jalen Hurts is going to come in with even more of a chip on his shoulder.
Makes sense.
Which is crazy because he just came off a Super Bowl and people still made him feel like that he did nothing. I think, in my opinion, it's going to be more of a chip on his shoulder this season to make him feel like he is a top 5 quarterback. He's going to try to envision that and make people believe that. And with Saquon in the backfield doing whatever he wants to do, I think this game is going to be a Philadelphia win. And for score prediction for me, I think it's going to be a 28-17.
28-17. I think it's going to be a lot closer simply because I think the Dallas offense is going to be a lot better with the acquisition of George Pickens. Obviously, they still have no running game.
Yeah.
But I feel like Dak Prescott, because the Eagles lost Darius Slay, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I think they're going to be very thin in the secondary.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a higher scoring game. So I think it's going to be like a 33-28 type of game, Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia ultimately pulls it out.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be a lot more high scoring than we think it is.
Yeah.
Simply because the Dallas defense is obviously weaker now.
Yeah, for
fucking
sure.
Michael Parsons. But Philly's defense also is going to be a lot. Obviously, they can't just always rely on Cooper DeJean and Rodrigo Blankenship back there.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't really have. Obviously, they have Quinion Mitchell. He's probably going to be on CeeDee Lamb most of the time.
Most of the time.
Who's going to be on George Pickens? We don't know.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's going to be a lot closer. So I would say 33, 34, 28 Eagles.
Got it. Next, we got the game in Sao Paulo.
And Friday,
which we got the Chiefs and the Chargers. This is, for me, I think this is a very interesting game because we don't know what's the status of Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
People are assuming that this might be his last year. And also, I think this is going to be a big year for Justin Herbert.
It has to be a big year
for Justin Herbert. This is the year where I think it makes or breaks Justin Herbert. People have been talking about forever how talented he is, how good of a quarterback he is.
He has the arm. He has the escapability. He has everything that you need in a prototypical quarterback.
You got to deliver now.
You need to deliver. The coach now. And you have the coach. You have your older players back. You have a rising star in Lad McConkey. You have up-and-coming running back who they just drafted in Omarion Hampton. So there's no reason for the Chargers not to excel. But as far as this game goes, I think they actually win this game.
So you got okay.
I'm going to go with the Chargers. I'm going to take the Chargers. I'm going to go a 24-20 game, Chargers.
All right. I'm going to go with the Chiefs because I feel like they felt so embarrassed in the Super Bowl performance that Patrick Mahomes is going to come back with some vengeance, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, I still think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL.
He is.
So when you have the best quarterback in the NFL on the field, you always have a chance to win the game. With how interesting I think that they can be and how creative the offense is always with Andy Reid, I think the Chiefs are going to win this game, and I think they're going to come out and show why Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, which is crazy because last year they only lost 2 games, which is insane that people said it was Patrick Mahomes' down year and they lost 2 games. It's crazy to say that. I think the Chiefs are going to come out and win this game. I think it's going to be a 30 to like 24. Okay. I think the Chiefs are going to put up numbers on the board, especially in Sao Paulo, Brazil, which I guarantee you that whole crowd is going to be Chiefs. That whole crowd is going to be the Chiefs.
I agree.
So that's what I think that's going to happen for that game. So I'll let you take off for the next game.
All right, so next game we want to talk about the Jets and Steelers. It's the battle of opposing quarterbacks that are on the opposite teams.
I love how that worked out in the playoffs.
So you have Aaron Rodgers with the Steelers. He was on the Jets, and now we have Justin Fields on the Jets, who was on the Steelers. Obviously, I'm a big Jet fan. I don't want them to lose, but for the sake of being unbiased on this take, I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game, very defensive battle.
Okay.
But I think ultimately the Steelers pull it out. I think it's going to be like a 20-13 type of game, 23-6. Like it's going to be a lot of field goals. It's going to be less offense, a lot of boring, a lot of boos probably. Obviously, the Jet fans are going to boo Aaron Rodgers when he gets out there. But I just feel like the Jets, from what I've been hearing, their offense is going to be really bland, as if it wasn't already for the last fucking 15 years. It's going to be more bland than usual. I heard Justin Fields say don't expect any fireworks and all of that shit.
Why would you even say that? Like,
I don't know,
as
man.
your quarterback, like,
but
why would you say that? Like, why put that in the air? But I'm going to actually go the opposite way. I got the Jets winning this game.
Okay.
I actually have the Jets winning this game because I think those Jet players have more of a chip on their shoulder since Rodgers left. Especially with guys like Sauce, especially guys with Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. Those 3 guys literally cherished Aaron Rodgers when he came. And now Rodgers basically kicked them to the curb and like, I'll see you guys later.
No.
You guys aren't ready for me. I think those guys are going to have more of a chip on their shoulder. I think the Jets win this game. And I think they win it 17-14.
17-14.
And I think the Jets win it I think they can win it
on a
game-winning drive by Justin Fields leads it to getting Garrett Wilson
open. Probably running QB.
Getting Breece Hall where he needs to go, getting those QB runs when it's necessary and needed. I think it's going to be a good win for the Jets. Honestly, first game of the season, Aaron Glenn first win as a Jet head coach. I think
sets the table for the
rest. Sets the table, and I do think that the Jets are going to win this game because I lost all faith in Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, and I know a lot.
Yeah, and they only have DK Metcalf as a wide receiver, and he's going to be on.
And then you have Jalen Warren.
Yeah,
but it is what it is. Like I think Jalen Warren just signed a new deal too, but also you got TJ Watt on the other side.
That's the only
good luck. That's the only thing. That's the only way. The only way that
you contain him.
That's the only way the Jets are going to win. If TJ Watt does not get in there, then you could win that game. But if he's getting pressure, who's going to be guarding him? Who is assignment?
Nobody can really guard him anyway.
I know, but who is the assignment? He's on the right side, right?
He's on the rookie.
God, you got to double team him every time. You have to double team him every time.
Yeah.
So that's that game. Next we got my team, the Patriots versus the Raiders. I think it's going to be a very interesting game
I think it's
because
gonna be a good game.
I think it's going to be a good game too
Yeah.
because we have obviously the new offense and the new team,
The new
everywhere.
regime,
The new regime and everything.
both teams.
And both teams with the New England Patriots, where they signed a lot of players, a lot of defensive players, where we're expecting our defense to be a top 5 defense this year, which we usually are, honestly. But this year, there's even more higher expectations, especially with the ascension of Drake May now leading that offense. He got named team captain this year. It's going to be very interesting to see what we do. We have our rookie running back, Travion Henderson. We're very excited to use him with Ramondre Stevenson and also Antonio Gibson. It looks like Vrabel and it looks like Josh McDaniels are going to be incorporating all 3 backs in his plays, which is going to be a lot of switching in and out of these backs. And then we have on the other side Geno Smith with Pete Carroll with the rookie Ashton Jeanty, who is very, very getting. There's a lot of hype around Ashton Jeanty. In fantasy leagues, he's getting picked very high. Yeah. So, in my opinion, that means that
he has the potential to be a top 5 running back in the league.
People are saying that he has the potential to be like Adrian Peterson-esque.
I mean, listen, man, anything is possible, and they obviously have one of the best tight ends.
Brock Bowers is one of the best tight ends in the league already.
Jacoby Myers is a scrub. Amari Cooper is still Amari Cooper, even though he's a lot older. So
I don't know much about the Raiders' defense anymore.
Aside from Max Crosby, there's really nobody.
That's what I think.
So who are you going to go with?
I'm going to go with the Patriots. I think they're going to win this game 21-14. I think it's going to be that type of game where Drake May is going to get some few plays. It's going to look good. I think we can definitely see so in my opinion, the Patriots have one of the best special teams in the league too. So I think we can definitely see a punt return for a touchdown. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that in a Patriot game. But I think Geno Smith and Pete Carroll, they're going to come out trying to win the game, obviously. That's what they want to do. But I do ultimately think the Patriots win this game.
I got you. I think I'm going to go with the Patriots too. I think it's going to be a 24-17 type of game.
Yeah, it's going to be a close game.
Yeah. It's going to be a 1-possession game for sure.
And then now let's talk about the Sunday night game, which is the biggest game, honestly, I think, all
of week 1.
Week 1. Yeah. The Buffalo Bills versus the Baltimore Ravens, which is probably people's 2 top contenders to be in the Super Bowl or probably win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Big game. There's a lot of
MVP quarterbacks. 2
MVP quarterbacks. A lot of chirping about who should have deserved the MVP last year. In my opinion, I do think they got it right.
I don't think so.
I know Lamar Jackson had one of all-time great QB team, but Josh Allen, just the things that he did and the way he carried his team because he had nobody. That's why I think he deserved that MVP. Because who did he really have? Nobody. Like, you can't name anybody that was a top receiver. Matt Collins, who is actually a Patriot now, which is he was their best receiver. Like, come on. But I think this game is going to be a Baltimore win. I think Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, they're going to come out, and with DeAndre Hopkins, they're going to come out and try to put on a show. I think Baltimore wins this game 28-14.
What?
Yeah.
You think it's going to be a dominant win?
I think it's going to be 2 touchdowns. Yeah, I think it's going to be a 2-touchdown game where I think Josh Allen's going to get overwhelmed with a lot of the pressure because, again, I still feel like the Buffalo Bills don't have that many weapons that Josh Allen needs. The Ravens are really good at ball hawking, where they can get to the ball really easily. And we've seen Josh Allen obviously evade traffic and evade and get the ball out and even run for it. But with all this preparation, I think especially with the Ravens team also feeling like that their man deserved the MVP, they're going to come out with more of a chip. So that's why I think Baltimore wins this game 28-14.
I got you. I'm going to go with Baltimore too. I think it's going to be a 2-possession game in a sense. It's going to be like a 30-20 type of game.
Yeah.
I also believe that Buffalo's defense is really good.
Yeah.
Baltimore's defense is decent enough, but the thing is Baltimore has the better offense. They have the better skill position players. They obviously have Derrick Henry. Mark Andrews is going to be, I was about to say Mark Henry like an idiot. Mark Andrews is going to have a chip on his shoulder, especially with what happened last year. DeAndre Hopkins, although he's older, he's still fucking DeAndre Hopkins, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So, and obviously you have Lamar Jackson pulling the strings. Yeah. And I ultimately think that they get it done. And obviously this potential week 1 to fucking January AFC Championship.
Is this game in Baltimore?
In Baltimore.
So yeah, because I would have changed my opinion if it was in Buffalo because I think this is Buffalo's new stadium.
No.
Oh, not yet, right?
Next year.
Oh, it's the year after. Okay. So, but that's for that. So I think you got Baltimore.
I got Baltimore.
All right. So then that's pretty much the big 5 key matchups that we're looking at for week 1. And next week we're going to be talking about the outcomes of those week 5, and then we'll also be talking about our week 2 predictions as well. But that's how we're planning on talking about the NFL season going forward. And obviously, if there's like a big game or big play that we want to talk about that we mentioned, that'll probably get caught in our best moment or best thing that we saw, which we're going to lead into right now. And Farhan, I'll let you talk about what you thought was the best thing or moment you saw this week.
So the best thing that I saw this week is all you fans out there that decided to make the most, I don't want to say iconic, but the most hysterical memes when it came to this Michael Parsons trade to the Packers.
The memes? What
memes? The memes of like the similarities between Jerry Jones and Nico Harrison.
Oh.
It's like the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other.
Basically the Dallas GM.
The Dallas GM, yeah. Obviously there was a meme with John F. Kennedy when he was sitting on the Dallas motorcade, and it said Jerry Jones in Dallas. I saw a couple of other ones saying, "Oh, the Dallas Cowboys have already been eliminated from NFL playoff contention."
It's always fun to fucking make.
It's so fun because
their fans are so passionate.
Yes,
that's why it's even funnier.
That's the craziest, like the craziest. I've seen so many also like people crying, people cursing, like calling for his head, calling for his job. Like, yo, obviously Father Time is coming, but let the man breathe, you know? But you know what also excites me is seeing all of these memes and what to expect coming from this season, you know? Like, I feel like NFL memes versus other sports memes are completely unmatched.
NFL memes are so funny.
It's unrelenting to, like, the fans. Obviously, it's humorous to us, you know, to most people. But you know, when you're on the opposing side of the memes, it's like, oh shit, you know. There's so many memes from last year where I saw about the Jets losing and stuff like that. It hurt, but now seeing all of this Michael Parsons stuff, it's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie to you. So that's probably the best moment, or the best thing, or the best. I don't know what word I could use. The best fan-related thing that I saw this week. It's all these memes that we can finally start to incorporate into our lives, and, you know, for the next 6 months basically.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that was basically the best thing that I saw.
All right, and for me, the best thing I saw this week is actually what's going on right now is the women's U.S. Open. We have the U.S. Open that's going on right now. We're getting to the quarterfinal into the semifinal matchups. But I want to talk about one specific player, which is on the women's side, Naomi Osaka, where Naomi Osaka took a little height. That's a little racist.
What you mean? What you mean? She's Japanese.
I know, but
how's that racist?
It's a little racist. How? You don't need to do all that.
What you mean? She's Japanese. It's not like. I mean, I don't know.
But that's pretty funny. Naomi Osaka, she took a little hiatus from playing tennis because of her mental health. She's a big advocate of mental health, and she felt like she just needed to take a break from it. So I believe 2 years ago she was watching Coco Gauff basically win and advance at the U.S. Open. But now we had the matchup between Coco Gauff and Naomi Osaka, and it was just a wiping from Naomi Osaka, where she came back and made it seem like why she's one of the best women's players still out there when she's on the court. We're going to see how Naomi Osaka does. A lot of people do have her actually going to the championship and maybe even winning it, which would be great for her because she deserves to be back in that spot again. I know that most likely she's going to win her quarterfinal matchup and leading up to her semifinal matchup, which is going to be she's got to win that semifinal matchup to get to the finals. I think that's the biggest thing. In my opinion, I think even if she gets to the finals, it's a win-win season for her because nobody really thought that she could make it to the finals again, or people really didn't think about her because like the last big thing she did was beat Serena Williams, which is obviously she's the GOAT. And you beat the GOAT, so people are going to have higher expectations for you. And when you take a hiatus, which is fine because she did it for her mental health, which, you know, all that stuff comes first. But now it looks like she has things together. She wants to basically put it away where she wants to be one of those GOATs again. And I think she can definitely do it with a win at the U.S. Open this year.
Makes sense, huh?
So I think that's the best thing I saw this week was the return of Naomi Osaka and hopefully her possibly winning the U.S. Open. All right, guys, that's it. That wraps it up for this week's episode of the Pinfalls and Playbooks podcast, episode 9. We're hitting our episode 10, our Big 10, which is great because we're going to be coming right off the cusp of week 1, which is a great time to do it. But continue to stick around for us. We're going to be churning out these episodes as soon as possible as we can. And we'll stick around, guys, because we have our sports coming up. We have our wrestling coming up. and we have anything else we honestly want to talk about.
A lot of things going
A
on.
lot of things going on, whether it's sports related, wrestling related, or whatever, anything in the media or even like awards related. Because I know other things I want to talk about. Hopefully, is like we have Oscars and Emmys and all that stuff coming up soon, which I'm always passionate to talk about. But we'll get into that when it comes. But thanks you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.